What's up guys, this is Artur from BluffTheSpot. How was your last month? Today we'll be taking a look at some funny and big hands I played in November. And before anything, smash that like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss any of my videos. Alright, so I picked up some funny hands and some big hands I played on this month. Last month actually, and hopefully we can think about something interesting that happened, but it's mostly like a chill session today. Only we're going to look at the biggest hands I played last month, and hopefully, yeah, we can have some fun together here. Alright, so I also tried to not pick as many coolers, so there's going to be some bigger hands that are not here, but I try to avoid coolers in general. So we're going to play 6-5 of hearts here facing a 3-bet. The first thing I would like to say here is that my opponent is 3-betting to a bigger sizing, which makes us have a lower incentive to call and a bigger incentive to 4-bet, and also probably fold a little bit more as well. So, but another player calls, and I think we have a good opportunity to just go ahead and call here. On this case, because we have a pretty nice suited hand that's going to play well, very well multi-way pots on this SPR. So the board starts with a check from the small blind. I check as well because I'm out of position and the initiative is on the button, and I don't think we're going to have a leading range on this board. And the button goes for a 20 big blinds bet or 21 big blinds bet on a 31 big blinds pot, so something like 2/3. And small blind goes for a call, so at this point I think there's no point in raising, as raising is going to isolate us against a better range from both opponents, and we have probably good pot odds to call here and oftentimes stack someone off when we hit the straight, because oftentimes, especially these guys, going to have a set, for example pocket sevens or over pairs, and this guy's going to have an over pair as well, or something like 2 overs and a flush draw that is going to get it in even if I hit the straight. Although I don't think this is a very standard call if both opponents are good and solid, because they're going to get away oftentimes when we hit our straight. But there was a recreational player in the pot, and that's the biggest reason I decided to call here and come along. So we binked the turn on a magical 4 of clubs. We'll keep checking with pot size left, and that's what's going to happen. Like for example, if player 4 here has aces or something like this, he's going to jam because he's wanting to deny equity against overcards and flush draws as much as possible. Like for example an 8 here, or yeah, basically anything that can hit something on the river, he wants to end up the hand as soon as possible. And surprisingly to me, someone calls as well, and here there's no other option apart from putting as much money in the pot as possible. And a 4 pairs the board, in which I think, well, sometimes if they have sets, we're going to be fucked. But this time, we're going to see pocket queens from player 4 and the good old ace-5 of clubs from player 1. Very nice hand for us. And we pick up a $365 big blind spot here. Alright, so moving up to the next hand, where we have pocket kings on the button. And we're playing 190 something big blinds deep against the big blind. He 3-bets, I'm going to go for a 4-bet here. I don't like my 4-bet sizing because we're deeper, so I would like something like a bigger 4-bet size, something like 24, 25 big blinds. So I think I made a mistake pre-flop, but I think the 4-bet is completely fine. We might potentially have a flatting range here, but on this position is mostly 4-betting. So as deeper we are, the more we can use slightly bigger sizings here. So I wouldn't mind something like a half pot, but I also don't think the 1/3 size on these dryish boards is going to be bad or anything like this. So I kind of like the flop play, but I think the pre-flop play is the most wrong part about this hand. He goes for a call, the 5 of hearts appears on the turn, and I'm going to go for another block bet, which I don't really like too much, as I'm trying to set up for a river jam, and this is going to get to a pretty weird SPR on the river. So I would like to size up at least a little bit on the flop, a little bit more on the turn. So I think I need to size up everywhere on this hand. So I made a mistake on almost any street, and then now I have to jam over like a pot of 100 big blinds, I have to jam 140, which is not necessarily a big mistake. But if I avoided it by, let's say, 4-betting bigger enough pre-flop, it would already avoid this mistake, for example, because then the 1/3 c-bet on the flop is going to be bigger, and which makes the turn pot size bigger as well, and it comes to the river with an easier jam. Anyways, he ends up calling, and guess what? He had ace queen offsuit. I think that was the funniest hand of the whole month. Was pretty surprised actually. This guy was in fact a recreational player, which makes me think I should size up every street even more because of this read. So yeah, small mistakes on every street, but we made one of the biggest spots of my month, and luckily against a recreational player who was able to call with ace high on the river, with just the queen of hearts as a blocker to the flush, which probably doesn't matter much here, but yeah, thankfully he was there this day. And yeah, that's a nice hand as well. Let's move on to the next one, which is ace-9 offsuit. There's going to be some losing hands as well. I was making sure I was not only picking up winning hands, otherwise, yeah. So let's take a look. We flop an ace here on multi-way pot, and so first of all, I see a lot of people thinking that let's say this guy opens 2.5 and this guy calls for 2.5. I see a lot of people thinking that we should call a lot wider. It depends on the small blind. If the small blind is a regular, then that might not be the case. That's not the specific spot we are going to tighten up, especially because button is opening only 2x. So he goes check check, he bets half pot, and small blind calls. I think we're not going to go anywhere here, just click and call. We're going to hit the 9 on the turn. The button continues betting into 2 opponents, which makes me think he's going to have fairly often a good strong hand. And this guy decides to jam. Wow. That's actually not an easy situation to be in. I would have to have at least a little bit more information about player 1. To be fair, I don't remember at all what happened on this hand. And well, I hope I called and I was ahead, but I hope I had also the correct reasons to call. Because as I say, depending on the opponents you're facing, you might just want to go ahead and click fold here. But of course, in general, we're not going to be looking to fold every time with strong 2 pairs. And yeah, hopefully I had a good read on him. 4 on the river, he had king 10 offsuit. Okay, that's very, very aggressive from him, but thankfully, yeah, again, we had a good hand enough to call, and yeah, I guess I had a good read on this opponent to make this call down with ace-9 here, and happily scoop a nice spot here. I guess I separated 5 hands, so I guess the 2 next hands are going to be losing hands. So we're going to face a 3-bet with kings here, and we're slightly deeper. I will imagine this guy's a recreational player or some kind of weak regular. So I like 4-betting. The 4-bet size is big. I like it because we're slightly deeper, so it's fine. This time I didn't make the pre-flop mistake. At this time, when I see this sizing from me, I think this guy's a recreational player. Just because I wouldn't do that against a normal regular. So he jams, I call. Oh, now I remember this hand. It was, ugh. Okay, now I remember this hand. He's gonna have ace jack, check jamming the flop, which is somehow correct. It's not gonna be bad to check jam the flop when with any kind of like pair or high equity hand, because you're denying a lot of equity from hands like ace queen or blockers, or like 2 overcards that I'm bluffing pre-flop. So it's fine. I actually talked about this on one of the last videos I posted on YouTube. So just a bad beat, but it's funny. I think this guy was a fish, and yeah, unfortunately he was the lucky one this time. We're gonna have ace jack offsuit, opening the cutoff, facing a 3-bet and a call. So this is quite close. I'm not sure if this is actually a call or this should supposed to be a fold, but I guess in position against both opponents, it's fine to go ahead and click call, especially because the sizing is not too big. So we're going to a flop here, and it goes check check To be fair, I would like to just see myself checking behind because their ranges are so strong here. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check back and hit the straight on the turn. Goes check, check again. I'm not sure if I like my sizing. I think we could size up slightly more to make it an easier river jam, but it's not a big deal on this case, to be fair. I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference. As we're jamming 2x spot is not like a massive jam, still could make slightly bigger on the turn. Then we have the Jack of Hearts as a blocker. I guess we're losing this hand. I already spoiled it. But I don't think we can fold to a jam, especially as played. This guy checked twice to us and he cold calls out of position. So does he has exactly King Queen of Hearts or something weirder than that? So I go ahead and click all in on this river, which I don't necessarily mind it, as this guy has so many 2 pairs, but I think he's going to bet most of his 2 pairs on the turn, so he gets capped. He gets to the river a little bit capped with hands like King Jack potentially, or Ace Queen potentially. So I think the jam was a little bit overplayed by me, and potentially a mistake. Even if I bet and he jams, I'm probably going to click call because I have the nut straight and he can have a lot of 2 pairs or maybe a misplayed set or something like this. And he potentially is a fish because he cold called 3 bets, so God knows what he's doing. So there's the random spaz factor as well here. But jamming, I think it accomplishes not much. We're not going to get we're going to get called a little bit, but I think we get the most money from 1 pair type of hands, and unless I think this guy is a massive station that is going to call down with like Ace Queen or King Jack here. This is probably not necessary to overbet jam here, or I could just make it a bit slightly bigger turn bet and then jam the river with not something like 2x spots, which looks pretty strong. So I guess he had a flush. Yeah, it's the Ace 8 of Hearts, and he's pretty fishy to be cold calling 3 bets with like this, but it is what it is. I think I made a mistake on the river, probably small mistake on the turn, but doesn't matter too much. And yeah, that was it for today, guys. See you later. That was it for today. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss our newest videos. Also, let me know what you think about the hands I reviewed today down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I see you guys back in the next video, which should be in the next week. So see you later. Bye. Peace.